Good evening, everyone. This is JK for the Ministry of Otaku, 14-year anime convention veteran and cosplaying photographer. If you like what you see, please subscribe and ring the doorbell for notifications. I'm almost up to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 993 subscribers. 7 more to go. And once I get 1,000 subscribers, that'll be a major milestone for this channel, and I'm going to and it's going to keep going and going up. So please, if you like what you see, please give subscribe and ring the doorbell for notification. Leave a like. It helps the algorithm and it helps me as well. Now let's begin with today's story, which both Bleeding Cool and Balding in the comments have not followed up on. Now, a retailer on day 2 of New York Comic Con was actually told to leave because they were not wearing a face covering. Articles from Bleeding Cool and from New York and from Balding in the comments report that a retailer was ejected from New York Comic Con for refusing to wear a face covering. New York Comic Con reissued a following warning for their show this weekend, saying reminder masks are required at all times while attending NYCC, except when eating or drinking. Be safe, be cool, have fun. Review our health and safety policy here. Truly dystopian, because conventions are supposed to be about fun and excitement, escapism, not about mask wearing, not about constantly obsessed with health and safety. The sad truth is that in this day and age, we're not allowed to because New York City has imposed a vaccine mandate for all indoor events. And in most indoor events, you still have to wear a mask, regardless of vaccination status. And reality, it's discriminatory for those who are Black and Hispanics. It makes events truly dystopian for me documenting the event, and I will not enjoy it. And it's also discriminatory for people who have chronic illnesses and those who are disabled that know the risks of attending these conventions, but with available vaccines, they can choose to take the vaccine or not, or just attend the convention as normal. But with these vaccine mandates, which only allow people to go in if you're already vaccinated, or you're forced to take a medical exam. Unfortunately, they're basically barred from attending. And I refuse to attend any events that impose a vaccine mandate. I'm sorry, I can't. That's why I did not attend New York Comic Con, because of this. And at this point, it makes these conventions not fun. They're just glorified shopping malls and marketing events, instead of places where you interact with cosplayers and enjoy themselves. Buying Comics also reported that New York Comic Con reported kicked out fans for not wearing masks. And one of the people who replied to this was Andy Price, who is a writer / artist for the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic comic book series by IDW Publishing. Andy tweeted out, "So yeah, it's true. A large vendor at New York Comic Con was kicked out today for refusing to wear a mask. Not only was a mandate of the convention, it was mandated by the city. I feel zero pity for them. Get out." And really, conventions are really, at this point, have this political filter. We're supposed to be forgetting about politics and leave politics at the door. Instead, we're basically imposing that you wear a mask regardless of vaccination status. Now, we're going to follow up with this post here. Now, here's the thing. Bounding in the Comics and Being Cool did not follow up on which vendor that was kicked out of New York Comic Con. But I can reveal to you today the vendor that was kicked out. It was Invasion Toys of New York City. And this was tweeted out by Toys Are Evil, reading a message from Invasion Toys at the end of day 2 of New York Comic Con. Screen grab from their Instagram. Update through Invasion_toys. It reads, due to the unfortunate actions of our partnering booth, we're asked to leave New York Comic Con. Remaining drops and items will be available online. We appreciate everyone's patience while we get our affairs in order. Stay locked to our page for further updates. And there was here's the thing. Now there was an update at 10:07 p.m. on October 9th, 2021. Titled Clearing Things Up. It seems there is some misinformation spreading, so in an attempt to clear things up, yes, the partners we shared the booth with failed to wear their masks. Apparently, they were warned several times, but unfortunately, we were not aware of this until it was too late. Despite several appeals to coordinators, we were asked to break down and leave. Ultimately, we had to respect the decision as rules have been broken at our booth. They assured us that this is not a permanent ban, and have invited us all back to repart past events, including New York Comic Con 2022. While many booths we will not name any were also fair to refusing to forget to wear a mask throughout the day, we were one of what we are told are numerous others that pay the consequences. Apparently, they want to make an example of these things. They want to make an example of anyone that doesn't actually wear a mask. It's disappointing to us and our staff, and of course financially detrimental as well, but Repop and corners are just doing their best to keep people safe in accordance to the executive orders of Mayor de Blasio. We do not blame them. Just keep people safe, even though you're already vaccinated. Hopefully this clears up the confusion to the extent we can probably share. At the end of the day, there are multiple sides of every story, but what matters is the outcome. This is not the end for us. We are lucky and thankful to have the support of the community and artists who are proud to call our friends. Now here's the thing. Apparently Invasion Toys was sharing a booth with another vendor that they did not disclose. And apparently they weren't wearing any masks while the booth that was kicked out had to wear a mask. And apparently, since those people in the booth wasn't wearing them, even though the main of the booth was, they told the booth owners to leave. And this is another reason why I'm opposed to these mandates. Because crap like this. I mean, you just want to make money after losing, 18 months of conventions. Because of chronogen hysteria. And state governors crapping their pants on purpose. And the worst thing is that they try to explain to these coordinators, and their minds were already made up. So basically, they were guilty by association. And the worst thing is that there was little sympathy of this when it was first announced that someone was booted out. And I mean, seriously, these days you can be booted out of a convention if you're not wearing a mask. Now there are small conventions that you can get away with it. Some of them have policies that are just on paper and they don't enforce them. But the bigger conventions, especially the corporate conventions, can boot you out almost immediately. They can actually boot you out. And I think in some of them, they're just happy that they're gone. Even if everyone is fascinated, they don't care. It's basically virtue signaling. You basically have to virtue signal how much you care before entering a convention nowadays. You're not allowed to actually enjoy yourself at a convention unless you constantly virtue signal, even you're fascinated. And it turns conventions into not fun places. And there are lots of people that have little or no sympathy over this. And this is why, because of this, and other things that go with these mask mandates are reasons why people are not attending New York Comic Con. It's bad enough that New York Comic Con had limited capacity. Usually you have 250,000 people attending New York Comic Con for the 4-day event. Now it's just 150,000 people. Saturday was still sold out, but Thursday and Friday was light. And I think Sunday was packed, but not that packed. And it's really a shell of itself. It's really a shell of itself. Christ. I mean, seriously, if Comic Cons are going to be like this, the bigger Comic Cons, I'm not going to bother attending. I'm basically going to be done with Comic Cons. And, I mean, seriously, there are growing anime cons that pull this crap as well. So that's it. Invasion Toys was the people that got booted out, and I'm surprised that Being Cool and Bounding into Comics have not reported on this detail. I'm the only one that is reporting who was kicked out. But that's all I gotta say. I won't be attending any conventions that pose these mask mandates or fantasy mandates. I will definitely not be attending CatsaCon or MagFest until they change their tune and push for normalcy. Because I'm not going to be attending any convention that opposes these mandates. Especially as a cosplaying photographer, I'm not wearing a mask 14 hours a day. I have no interest in taking photos of cosplayers wearing masks. Unless they really want to. But really, I'm not interested in taking photos of cosplayers with masks. It's pure dystopian. This is JK from the Ministry of Otaku signing out. Have a good evening or good morning, wherever you are.